Hello, friends. It's Brooke-Sidney here, your favorite mindset and manifestation coach. I am so excited to talk to you about this topic today, which is how to stop reacting to the 3D, how to stop just going there, okay? But before we get into it, I just want to remind you that there are two ways to work with me: email coaching as well as one-to-one coaching. That information is listed below, and I offer two free communities of like-minded individuals that are on this manifestation journey. That information is also listed below. So today I really wanted to talk to you about the importance of stop reacting to the 3D. I know that it's hard. Trust me on that. I've been there, and I even have a story and a manifestation to share today with you. So many of us have learned through just coming up in this world that the 3D is real, the 3D is permanent. I think a lot of us believe that. And this world and manifestation world and law of assumption, we actually know it to be the opposite, right? We know that, first of all, the 3D will change. The 3D is not the same today as it is tomorrow. And for many of us, thank God for that, right? Thank God for that. Like, the 3D is malleable. I've talked about that before. I will tag that video, but the 3D is changeable. So I don't encourage you to keep reacting to the 3D. You're going to be like a yo-yo on a string. You're going to be, bouncing off, being a puppet to the 3D, when in fact, the 3D is going to change. And my friends, you are the person to change it, right? You are the person to change it. So I want to start with my first point, and that is the 3D isn't creating anything. You are. I think many of us have forgotten that we are the operant power in our reality, in our 3D reality, what we see in front of us, what is outpictured in front of us. We actually created it, good or bad, right? Good or bad. And I think when we start reacting to it, which is my second point, it's like we're reacting to ourselves. We're getting mad at ourselves. And I've learned that's really not helpful. It's really not helpful to get mad at myself. It's helpful to learn the lesson. It's helpful to notice what I created. It's helpful to, in Abraham Hicks' words, see the contrast, to see what I don't want so that I can then create what I do want. But it's not really helpful to get mad and to get upset and to spin out of control. And that's what I really don't want to happen for myself and for you all that are on this manifestation journey, because it's going to take us into another place that we, A, don't have time to be going there, and B, I don't want to see us giving up our power. That's what I have realized, is that when I have allowed myself to spiral, then I essentially get into a place where I'm not acting as the operant power. I'm not acting like I'm in control. I'll give you an example. So I had a period of time within the past year where I had a good contract, or I had good contracts, and then all of a sudden I started like manifesting contracts. And I'm going to say it, I'm ultimately responsible for my business, right? Just like I'm ultimately responsible for my life. I started manifesting contracts that didn't stick or didn't stay. That's the best way that I can put it. So it would be great in the beginning and then it would go away. Be great in the beginning and then it would go away. And so I started to really let myself spiral into it. I started to become, I feel like, spending my energy more on worrying than creating. And that's the lesson here, right? We don't want to spend our time in the energy of fear and worry, because that means, in addition to the fact that we'll be creating more of it, it also means that we haven't stepped back into the place of being this powerful, dominant creator, operant power in our reality. And so as a result, I just kind of kept creating it, right? And I felt like for a while that it was indeed spinning out of control. And so it wasn't until I got some advice from a very good friend and spiritual mentor that said, you have to let this go. And by letting it go, it was like, I thought she was talking about, and she may have been talking about letting go of the worry, letting go of kind of the fixation or the focus of it. And in essence, though, I realized it was like letting go. For me, I discovered it was letting go of the story of the thing not working out or the thing not being exactly as I wanted it to be, right? And I think that if you're going to look at the 3D and you're going to bring it back, like bring that information, that lesson back into your 4D, it's more like, well, how can I take that information and use it as a positive? And although I will totally admit, I let it go on too long because for one, I didn't see it, right? I didn't see it as a pattern in my current manifestations. I didn't see it. And two, just like most human beings, I got into my feelings about it. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's so helpful to stop putting ourselves in that thought space, like somehow to stop. And if that means like taking a nap, taking a vacation, doing something so that you can interrupt that thought pattern. You don't want to creating more of it. That's why I don't want you to react to it. You have to get to a still, clear, calm space so that you can see the lesson, whatever is there for you to see it, or simply decide that you're not going to create this anymore. And I actually decided I wasn't going to create this anymore before I saw the lesson. I saw the lesson later. Believe it or not, I saw the lesson later. I decided that this was not going to be true for me anymore, that this was going to change. And I mean, within a week, it had changed. Within a week, I had a better contract. Within a week, I had way more money. Within, I feel like, days. And so the lesson is not always required. The decision is. And so that is a key takeaway, I think, from this. But if you're going to allow yourself to really be in the 3D, be in that 3D moment, see if you can figure out the lesson. And I know when I look back, because hindsight's always 20/20, and I start mining the things for how do I become a better manifester? How do I, help my clients? I saw that we have to let it go. We really do have to let it go. Not just letting go of the feelings, as I think my friend was doing, but actually letting go of that story. And I talk about changing the story of you to change your life, essentially, and change your manifestations. We have to let go of the story. We have to let go of the disappointment. We have to let go of thinking that whatever we're seeing in front of us is real and it's not changeable. We have to let go of the past. Okay, we have to let go of the past. The past has the past. The past is done. That was what you used to think. That was your dominant assumption before. Guess what? You're in this moment right now, and you can decide right now that whatever happened, whatever's happening to you in the 3D, you can change the meaning of it, and you can decide it gets to mean something else that is now more favorable to you. Some people would call that revision. I'll tag my revision on the spot, but you could also just say it's deciding. It's deciding to create a new natural assumption and now not allow yourself to continue down the spiral of giving more energy to the things you don't want and the thoughts that you don't want, and not enough energy to the thoughts that you do and your dominant state and your dominant creation power, right? Also, in essence, it's slowing down your manifestation, right? Whether we choose to think about it as letting go of the old story or letting go of the past or disappointments or whatever is shown up in the 3D, or, detaching from those outcomes, detaching from that old story, however you want to look at it, it's slowing down our manifestations, because the moment we hop back into the pilot seat of our life and onto that pedestal and back into the operant power, that queen state, the quicker we can create a new wish fulfilled, a new story for ourselves, a new way of being and thinking and creating that has our manifestation here right now. So it is my intention that this video was helpful for you. Let me know how it resonates below. Make sure you are subscribed, like this video, and I will see you tomorrow.